Hello everyone, it's Toria again, and I thought I'd just pop on and say good evening and how is everyone, and do a bit of a I don't know, a blog of how my day's been and a bit of an update and to say hello to see how everybody is, and just a general bit of a chit chat because it can be a bit boring being on your own all day, and sometimes it's just nice to come on and say hello and I can show you what I'm doing. I know. Ooh, hello. And sometimes it's just nice to have a bit of a chat at the end of the day, because when you have got a chronic illness or chronic pain condition, then hello Katie, and sometimes it's just nice to say hello, and I'm a bit knackered because I'm in bed and my head hurts and my knees hurt and my nose hurts and actually my back hurts and my hips hurt. What else hurts? No, I think that's about it that hurts at the moment. Oh no, my head hurts. But these things happen when you're living with all the conditions I have. But some of you who actually watch all my blogs and my lives don't actually know all the things I live with. And so I thought what I would do tonight is actually tell you out loud, because some of you might have read it, some of you might not have read it. And since I'm actually trying to build up a following of people who actually watch me on whatever it's called. What are we watching? Instagram and YouTube, because I'll be putting this on YouTube later. I thought I'd actually talk about me for a change rather than heart sun. So I'm Toria. I'm 39 years old. I'm approaching that big 40, but I'm not there yet. It's just a number. It doesn't really matter how old you are. I was born in the UK, but I grew up in the States. So I did some of my education over there. And I was born with something called Marfans syndrome, which means I could do these funny things, which makes everybody go, ugh. Doesn't make me do that. I thought I was born with something called Marfans syndrome, and this is where there is a debate within all of my medical professionals as to whether I have Marfans, which is what my brother has, or whether I have EDS stroke, HMS, which is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome hypermobility spectrum disorder. But because nobody likes to do genetic testing these days, they won't test me, which means that we actually don't know what I have. And because it costs so much money to have genetic testing done, we haven't gone and had it done myself. But actually, some of the symptoms are very similar, which is joint hypermobility. So I'm Mrs. Bendy Lady, so I can do things like put my thumb to my wrist, except when you've got lots of bangles in the way. My shoulders dislocate or sublux posteriorly, as I get told off by the doctor. This is what is more to do with the Marfans than the EDS HMS. I have a heart murmur. I have a high arched palate, which is to do with the Marfans. My hips are very hypermobile, which could be either. I have about 300 degrees rotation in them. I don't know why I'm doing that. My ankles are very hypermobile, but funnily enough, my elbows and my knees are not, which is a bit odd. But yet my brother with Marfans, his elbows and knees aren't either. We both have dents in our sternums, but obviously because I'm a woman and I have extra padding on the front, you can't see mine. but you can on my brother. What else? I have some gastric problems, but I don't exactly know what's causing those at the moment, so I'm just waiting for a referral. What else? Local anaesthetics don't work on me very well, if at all, which is always fun when you go to the dentist, when they're trying to inject you and it's not working. And it's not working, and it's not working. Oh, it's also fun when you try and have ingrown toenails removed. I can vouch for the fact that you will scream your local doctor's surgery down. It hurts. So I won't be having that one done again. Actually, no, I won't be having that one done again because I had it done under general anaesthetic, and they did some funny thing, which means my toenails won't ever grow back along the sides anymore, which was quite cool. What else does my Marfans do? Or mobility, or whatever they want to call it. It causes me lots of pain. It's great, isn't it? It causes me lots and lots and lots and lots of pain. See, I have this amazing bag from Dolly Rocker, which is here, full of some of my pills, which I've just taken. So if I start talking more rubbish than normal, it's because I have just taken rather a lot of painkillers. In fact, and other tablets. I've just taken 13 tablets to be precise. That is my general nightly regime. Should we call it regime? I don't know. What do we want to call it? Then, so that's my Marfans, or I don't really want. That's my joints, my flexi Mrs. Bendy lady stuff. Then I also and I have stretchy skin. It's not as stretchy as some people's though. Some people's skin is really, really, really stretchy. In fact, I think my brother's is more stretchy than mine is. And then, when I was 16-ish, 15, 16-ish, I didn't have glandular fever, but there are a number of viruses that are very similar to it. And I ended up having 6 months off school, which was actually not as fun as it sounds. I know every teenager doesn't want to go to school, but actually I would have preferred to have been at school because I just was not a very well young lady at the time. And I just ended up being very poorly, not being able to go to school and spending it all in bed, pretty much asleep, feeling rotten. And then I eventually got better and went back to school and did my GCSEs. Then I went on to do my A-levels, as you do, except because of whatever I'd had, this virus I'd had, I started getting tonsillitis every other week. Great. Nice. And what tonsillitis does is it puts pits in your tonsils every time you have it, which means that's where the bacteria resides. So you never actually truly get rid of the tonsillitis. So I ended up going to see a ENT specialist who I think I saw on the Friday, and then the Friday afternoon, and he said, right, we're taking those out Monday morning. That's how bad my tonsils are. So when they took them out, and he showed them to me after the operation, and they had gone black. It was delightful. Honest, really delightful. But after that, because of that, I missed about a year of my A-levels, and didn't do as well as I had hoped, because I had wanted to go and study medicine, because I really wanted to be a doctor. And what I ended up doing was going through clearing, and I got a place at the University of Manchester, as it was the Victoria University of Manchester then. And I got a place through clearing and studied chemistry. And I was the very first year of tuition fees. Oh, joy of joys of joys. Wasn't that pleasant for me? And so I went on to do my degree. Got kidney infection. Really nice kidney infection. I had to annul a year of my degree because of it, because I was so poorly. Hey, can you see a running theme in all this? I keep getting poorly. So I got my bachelor's. Got BSc in chemistry. Then what did I do? Oh, then I went to work. Decided I was bored working. And got an itchy eye. Decided I was bored working, so went back to university to do a master's in science. I think that's what I did. Yes, I did. Then I did a PhD in chemistry. No, I didn't. I did a PhD in design engineering and analytical science. And I loved them. But through all this time, I can't get away from the fact that I'm in constant pain all the time. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. All I can do, sorry, I've got very itchy eyes. All I can do is manage the pain. And I have migraines as well. But there's not much you can do. You can just have your migraines, you can manage your pain, you can either choose to live your life or you can not. So I chose to live my life, I chose to do a degree, I chose to study. And that was my life. I just got on with it because I refused to let the pain and everything stop me. I was a bit of a stubborn cow, really. Then what happened? Then I got a job. I was a research assistant, associate, whatever they call it. For a wee while. At the Manchester Institute of Biology. I think that's what they called it. It was the MIB building in Manchester, which was fantastic. I loved that. I loved it. It was so cool. But I then got to the point where I just thought, do you know what? I need to work in the real world. I can't do this anymore. So I got a job at Serco Technical and Assurance Services. And do you know what? I was one of the first people in Manchester to get swine flu because I brought it from London to Manchester. Oh, joys. I can highly recommend you never take Tamiflu. It's horrible stuff. I ended up with a doctor coming to my house with a mask over them, a blue doodah, what are they called, gown on, gloves, telling me, oh, by the way, you've got swine flu. So yes, I just got everything going. It was just vile. So that was joyful. You know, I loved that, as you can well guess. And then everything kind of just carried on with my Marfans, my migraines, my chronic pain. You know, living a life. You just have to get on with it because there is nothing more you can do until I managed to get meningitis in July, 14th of July 2014 to be precise, which changed my life forever. My life will never, ever, ever be the same again because it has left me with some brain damage. I mean, I can't change it. My brain will never be the same. It will never control my leg in the same way. But at the same time, it has made me who I am today. I now have chronic migraines. I get a migraine every day of some description. I now get migraines with aura. I have vestibular migraines. I get ice pick migraines. I get the joys of a migraine. I don't think, unless you've had a migraine, you can actually understand the intense feeling of pain. I mean, at the moment, I have pain here. So I've just got, this is what I call a mild migraine. So I can talk to you and I can function, because I've had to live with these migraines for, well, 5 years now. So I don't. So this sort of migraine, I can just about deal with. It's a case of you deal with it, you get on with it, and that's that. But then I have other migraines where I turn into the exorcist, and I can't deal with it, or otherwise I'm falling over every 2 minutes with the vestibular ones, because they turn my world upside down. So every time I stand up, I think the world's gone like this. I'm turned over. So it's just, it's horrible. I mean, there's just no way to explain it. So yes, I had this meningitis, which has left me with some slight brain damage. It's left me, which means that my brain now doesn't connect to my right leg. It's like, imagine you're in a forest and there's loads and loads of pathways you can take. Well, it used to be that there was a path to my leg, but now I've got trees that have grown up in my path, and they're just not, there is no path there for my brain to actually get to my leg. And the more tired I get, the worse it gets. I have non-epileptic attack disorder, which is, so it's a bit like I have, so I have these fits. I don't have them so much these days, because I can manage myself better. But I get to the point where I've done too much and my body just stops and it goes, no, I'm not playing anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. And it literally just stops. And I can't talk, I can't move, I can't do anything. And I literally just lie there, frozen or shaking, and unable to communicate with anybody I could do it for hours. But luckily I seem to have gone past that a bit now, which is nice in many ways. I have problems with my back and hips have got much worse since the meningitis, mainly because I think I've had so many falls, which doesn't do anybody's back any good. And because of the Marfans, imagine your spine's like this. Mine's constantly moving around because it's just so lax, that it just, I will sit. I'll be sat there sometimes, and I'll suddenly scream, and people just look at you, go, oh, why is she screaming? Well, I'm screaming because I'm in pain. My spine's moved slightly, and it's trapping a nerve. I've got horrendous pains in my knees, but nobody knows why my knees hurt. I end up, I have to use a mobility scooter because I can't walk long distances, or I can't walk short distances either. I mean, the assessment for PIP is, can you walk the length of a double-decker bus? Well, no, I can't, because my leg probably just go wibbly wobbly and give up underneath me. So, it's all very well, and I do make light of it in many ways, because I don't know what else to do. I have to try and live a life that is meaningful and and what's the word I want? It's not meaningful. I have to live a life that is full. But I also have to manage my life so that I don't overdo it, and that it is happy, but it is balanced. It's very hard because people could look at me and go, well, she looks perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with her. She looks like a normal human being. But then you could say, well, what is normal? Well, everybody's normal is very different. My normal is to take 30 to 40 tablets a day so that I can just keep moving. And it's to sleep, only a few hours a night. And with that sleep is horrendous nightmares. It's full of anxiety on what will happen each day. My normal is to be full of pain but have to still get up in the morning and do things. But yet I also have to have lots of naps and take painkillers during the day. I have to take strong opiates to get me through the day. I have to take lots of pills to stop my migraines, and even they don't stop my migraines. There's I'm looking at the possibility of having to have Botox injections for my migraines. But one of the things that makes me happy is crafting and doing things and talking online to my family of crafty friends. And I mean, you can probably see whilst I'm talking, I've got my crochet hook going. Because for me, keeping my hands busy helps me manage my pain. And I find that doing things mindfully and doing meditation actually helps me. And I believe that there is so much in the whole theory behind mindfulness and meditation that we have yet to learn, that I think more people should do it, and that there is a way for those of us who do live in chronic pain every day to manage our pain through mindfulness, but also through creativity, because I think the creativity uses a different part of your brain that actually helps with the pain management. Now, I mean, I know I'm a scientist at heart, and I have no idea if there is any proven scientific basis behind it at all. But I do know there is some proven scientific theory, scientific studies behind meditation and what that can do for you, because they've done studies on how meditating every day can increase the amount of the brain that you use, because they've done it on Buddhist monks and people who have they've done MRIs and brain scans on people who haven't done any meditation before and then have started meditating and then done a brain scan after they've been meditating for a number of months, which is very interesting. So I think it's something that is definitely worth exploring for those people out there who do have chronic pain and who do have anxiety and things like that. And I definitely think the charity Mind, who do the crafternoons, of which I'm going to run one in the near future. Oh, sorry. Have definitely got something with this whole crafternoon thing, and I think more of us should do it. I mean, everybody can do some sort of craft. You don't have to crochet or make jewellery or knit or sew. You could just colour in a book or do a dot to dot, or there's so many different things you can do to be crafty. Even if it's just doing something with your children, if you've got children, that it's just amazing, I think, what the power of the mind can do. And there are so many people who have got chronic conditions, whether it be a chronic pain condition, a chronic illness of some sort, who will also then have depression or anxiety or some mental health condition on top of that. And they shouldn't be ashamed of it. But I feel that doing some sort of creative activity would be so good for them. And I just don't think there's enough encouragement out there for people to do it. And I think the prices of crafting can make it prohibitive for people as well. So I think there must be a way around it. And I mean, one of the things I'd like to start, I do apologise, I'm so itchy today. And since my nose surgery, my nose in the last couple of days has been horrendously sore. And I'd like to start in the near future a crafting circle or knitting circle, or just something locally where people can come and just for an hour and just chat and be creative. And just do that. I mean, it's not difficult. It's not onerous, but just don't. I think people shouldn't be afraid. At the end of the day, we should all try and help each other. So I think that's what I'm trying to say tonight. And in case you are wondering what I am, busily crocheting away here. If I just put this last stitch in, if I can count, I am actually making what will be, I know it doesn't look like it at the moment, it just looks like a piece of crocheted squares. It will be a market bag, so a little shopping bag when it's done. So I've got to make, how many rows have I got so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I've only got another 27 to do. But it will be a market bag to sell on my Heartisan shop when I've finished. But yeah, so that's a little bit more about me and about my thoughts to do with crafting and mindfulness and meditation. One of these days, I might even sit here and talk everybody through a guided meditation. If you do ever miss any of my lives or my blogs, then I do upload them all onto YouTube, onto my YouTube channel, Toria's Trinkets. if they're short ones, then I load them up onto Instagram TV, but at the moment I can only do anything that's less than 10 minutes. I've got to try and work out how to get Instagram to let me do anything that's over 10 minutes. But I haven't quite worked that one out yet. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to my witterings of wonder. And have a lovely evening, and I hope you all get some sleep and have a nice day tomorrow. Tomorrow is hump day, of course, halfway through the week, and I shall see you all soon. So good night and sleep well. Bye bye.